Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Ashwin Berry. In the news tonight, the Ministry of Mines and Energy this morning said that there is sufficient fuel supply in the country, contrary to social media reports. According to the spokesperson, Andrea Simpin, the intermittent supply was due to a slight delay in the arrival of supply vessel, which is currently en route to Namibia. In addition to that, over-purchasing related to the current increase in the diesel prices has also contributed to a spike in diesel demand in the past few days. Now, a number of baboons have been seen near Marua Mall this morning coming in from the field. Yolanda now talks to Marshal Ranger Sean Nauder about how pedestrians especially can stay safe.
We speak to Namibian Marshal Ranger Sean Nauder about the baboons that can be seen in different parts of town, and this morning they were at Marua Mall. Sean, what can we do to stay safe, especially pedestrians, and especially when these baboons come into our yards?
What is very important to remember is that we live in Africa and we still have, thankfully, lots of wildlife roaming free. We have residential areas and municipal areas that are surrounded by mountains and big open spaces which still have free roaming wildlife. They look for sources of water and they look for sources of food, and this is how they end up coming into residential areas, especially in the drier seasons and in the winter seasons when they look for shelter. We have had unfortunate incidences where there has been confrontation between baboons and domestic pets and even human baboon conflict. They come into homes, they come into your yard, they dig up your dustbins because there smells of food in the dustbins, and this causes chaos. We also have people that encourage this kind of behavior by putting out food and water for them in residential areas. We do not encourage this at all, as it causes a problem for other people. It attracts them and it also makes them find a source to multiply, and they will just stay in the area as long as they have a supply. If you should ever find yourself confronted by a baboon, the best thing to do is make a noise. If you are at home, clang some pots and pans together, which then will be able to be used to make a noise and force them to run away. They might become confrontational. Do not throw anything at them. There's an old saying, if you throw a stone at a baboon, it's going to pick up a rock. They are very powerful animals.
The Twin Hills Gold Project, located close to Karibib, is on track to create 750 new jobs in the region and has already brought $224.6 million Namibian dollars of foreign direct investment to the Namibian economy, according to the 2021 Sustainability Report of Canadian-listed gold explorer and mine developer Oceano Resources. Yolanda Nell has more.
The responsible mining development of Oceano Resources is boosting the Namibian economy. A report which was published yesterday summarizes the company's social, environmental and economic commitments and its performance and plans to realize its sustainable purpose. According to Oceano CEO and President Hey Dawn, economic development guided by a sustainability approach that considers social and environmental issues and priorities is essential to grow a Namibian society and economy that thrives over the long term. He continued, saying that for-profit companies have a responsibility and an opportunity to make a lasting and positive impact in the communities where they operate. For this reason, they keep asking themselves how they can maximize their long-term positive contribution to a socio-economic development for Namibia and contribute to local economic growth, skills development, job creation, community well-being, and environmental stewardship. Dawn explained that responsible mining has been integral to Oceano from its inception, and the sustainability report demonstrates that the company is well on its way to becoming Namibia's most responsible gold mining champion.
Hango Iyambo, a 45-year-old resident of Ondangwa who lost his plot, explains how it happened. Ondangwa CEO Ismail Namgongo, however, says the council acted as per their allocation policy.
My name is Hango Pietrus. I staying in Wandangwa. I was given a plot from town council at the Onansi area. Later, I developed my plot. I put the fence, sharks, and everything. Then later, I find my properties. I don't know where's my property going on. So now, later I find the Ondangwa town council, they changing my product to give it to another person. So now when I'm asking my property, they not want to give me the straight answer. Now I ask a help to mayor, to CO to give me back my property.
Yes, the council is aware of the situation, is aware of the matter between Mr. Hango. He is our former contractor, contracted at the fire station. We took a decision in 2020 to allocate him an elevens. Those elevens are for free. You come, apply to council, you get it for free, and then you start paying a rental fee of 105 per month. But in your allocation letters, all those ELF are given with conditions. Conditions say that you must put up your house or your structure within 3 months. These conditions are there because we have got a long list of people that want land, and we have got people that come here, get land, and they never develop it. So we are saying, let's put conditions so that these elevens benefit those who are really in need. If you are really in need, you must put up a house within 3 months, or you must come back to us and say, no, I've got a problem, I need another extra month. So that was never done. That was given in 2020, and now we are in 2022 after 2 years. And when my officials went to investigate, they find a number of elevens that are not allocated to somebody, that are not constructed, that are underdeveloped, and then they give it to us and say, our policy is clear, the letters that were written to these people are clear, let's allocate to the next person on the list. And that was what was done.
Those have been our top stories. Now in our story of the day after the break, we take a look at the opening of the Tourism Expo.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and Oneuptwo.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Algemeine Titan, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Now today was the official opening of the Tourism Expo. Yolanda now attended, and there are lots of things to do and much to see for the whole family, with great deals and amazing finds. Now during the opening ceremony, Deputy Minister of Environment and Tourism Heather Sibungo said on behalf of the minister that our tourism industry is experiencing growth.
Tourism development and destination marketing, more especially as we endeavor to recover the sector from the impact of the pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, the sector remains cautious as the World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, continues to call for stronger coordination on travel protocols between countries to ensure the safe restart of tourism and avoid massive losses for the sector. The success of this sector has a positive, significant impact to the Namibian economy. Therefore, the ministry continues to support the sector to attract more visitors. Due to the unprecedented socio-economic impacts of the pandemic on the tourism sector, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has developed a national tourism sector recovery plan from 2022 to 24.
And now, let each one of you shout, thank you, as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Thank you! Thank you for another chance to life. Let's shake each other's hands next to each other and say, thank you. We forget very quickly, and I say that to myself when I look in the mirror. This is the 23rd Tourism Expo. We had to skip a year last year for the first time in the history of this expo. And this year's theme is taking tourism to the regions. So over 70% of people want to do their bookings online. Therefore, social media has become a key driver in this process. How you tell your story, however, is even more important. And that's something that we should continue working on. Not just the story of your establishment, not just the story of your region, but not just the story of your country, but as a continent. Taking your story and creating it requires a lot of hard work and planning. And this expo is a classic platform to do so. So to celebrate the concept of telling your story, especially in the form of pictures, we have created over 16 Instagram moments at the expo. Please be part of that wonderful process and share those Instagrams, and let's be part of the story of the Tourism Expo.
The future of Namibia and tourism depends on us educating our children from a very young age. Up to today, the African Child Development Trust has been able to distribute over 12 million school books across Namibia. We reach 360,000 children weekly, from pre-primary to grade 3, in 12 different languages, and we travel over 11,000 kilometers daily to ensure this happens. The one and only reason this is possible is because of a collective effort. It is because of teams such as Namibia Media Holdings, various corporate teams, and specifically the Namibia Wetlands Group. So the Wetlands Group assists the African Child Development Trust by further distributing books across the entire Zambezi region. This region is known to be widely spread with schools with very limited resources. However, now that the Namibia Wetlands Group has assisted us with distributing the books, we can ensure that resources arrive at the children without them having to travel very far.
The Tourism Expo started today and it will run through to the 5th of November at SKW. Don't miss it. Now, in economic news after the break, we look at Nigeria's central bank digital currency.
Every Namibian, young and old, needs and wants to know what is happening in Namibia and the world. Namibian Sun provides exactly that. We cover Namibian and international as well as community news. Some of these stories are also delivered in Oshuambo. We pride ourselves as a leading source of sports news from all codes locally and internationally. And on Fridays, we bring you the latest entertainment updates and what's hot on the Namibian events calendar in our weekly chill section. Namibian Sun brings you Market Watch on a daily basis, our informative, economic news-focused publication.
Heading into economic news, during a workshop in late October, the Central Bank of Nigeria celebrated a year since the launch of Nigeria's central bank digital currency, e-Naira. During the event, Godwin Mfiele, governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, said that they have provided all the necessary infrastructure that should enable them to make a cashless nationwide journey. According to African Business, Mfiele also said that with the experience that it is gaining, Nigeria could become a knowledge source for the world on central bank digital currencies as central banks develop their plans to launch digital currencies. Let's have a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar is down next to the British pound at trading at 20.61, whilst up next to the US dollar, euro and Chinese yuan. Looking at commodities, gold, copper and Brent crude oil are all experiencing a dip, whilst zinc is experiencing a 0.18% uptick. Stay with us as we head into international news after the break.
Namibië sonder grense vertel weekliks die stories van Namibiërs wat oor see of elders in die buiteland werk. Die program nooi jou om saam te reis na nuwe bestemmings en meer oor ons mense, hul lewens, talente, sienswyses en Namibië se trotste wêreldwye voetspoor te leer. Volg Namibië sonder grense op Netwerk TV, NTV, Oneuptwo.com en Republikeinse Facebookblad. Namibië sonder grense handel oor uitreik, gesels, reis en wenke en soms toer ons na besienswaardighede in die land waar ons kuier. Kontak grense@synergy.com.na en vertel ons van Namibiërs wat jy oor see ken of om jou reisprodukte te adverteer. Namibië sonder grense, ons land oral in die wêreld.
Heading into international news, Russian attacks were reported across large areas of Ukraine today, with heavy shelling in numerous regions damaging infrastructure, including electricity supplies to Europe's largest nuclear plant, Ukrainian officials said. Now, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine has again been disconnected from the power grid after Russian shelling damaged the remaining high-voltage lines, leaving it with just diesel generators, Ukraine nuclear firm Gotv said. Now, Reuters reports that the plant, in Russian hands but operated by Ukrainian workers, has 15 days worth of fuel to run the generators. Russian forces have occupied the plant in southern Ukraine, Europe's largest since shortly after invading Ukraine in February. Stay with us as we head into your weather predictions.
Newsprint Namibia is a web offset printing operation that specializes in the printing of newspapers and commercial inserts. We are the leaders in our industry, with the highest quality print work and the shortest turnaround time from computer to print and delivery anywhere in the country daily. Newsprint was established mainly as a newspaper print company, but had to diversify its business to do commercial printing as required in the market. We print commercial inserts previously printed in South Africa in the shortest possible time. We, as an organization, also started printing workbooks for our education system and will also print textbooks for the Namibian market. For more information, please contact print@newsprint.com.
You are with Sunset News. Let's have a look at the weather predictions. Katima Mulilo is experiencing thunderstorms with a minimum of 16, as well as Rundu, which has a minimum of 16. Omaruru is very hot and sunny with 36-degree maximums. Henties Bay is sunny, while Swakopmund, Wavish Bay, Rehoboth and Mariento are all partly cloudy, with Ariansvlei expecting a 17-degree minimum and also partly cloudy conditions. Stay with us as we head shortly into the sports. Heading into sports, African Stars and UNAM FC will make history on Sunday as they become the first teams to feature in the new Dstv Namibia Premiership. This will also be an historic day for the players and coaches who will be part of the ceremonial league kickoff on Sunday. This after a lengthy discussion with the football clubs came to the conclusion that the league will start despite queries after Dstv Namibia sponsored the league with $13 million Namibian for the season. This year's edition of the Nedbank Desert Dash will feature the Old Mutual All Black Girls team, which consists solely of women from previously disadvantaged backgrounds. Vicky Dan, Winnie Mukupiki, Jackie Shipena and Sophia Salmon have set their sights on completing the 393-kilometer race during the 8th edition of the Nedbank Desert Dash, taking place on 9 and 10 December. Dan, who is the mastermind behind the formation of the team, said she was inspired to establish an All Blacks ladies team after her first participation in last year's edition of the race. Now, Rafael Nadal was handed a shock defeat from Tommy Paul at the Paris Masters on Wednesday as the Spaniard played his first singles match since the US Open 4th round and becoming a father. Nadal took the first set 6-3, but the American rallied back to win the second set in a tiebreak before breezing through the deciding set to stun the number 2 seed 3-6, 7-6 and 6-1. Nadal praised Paul for his aggressive style in the match and also sounded pessimistic about his chances of winning the season-ending ATP Finals for the first time when the best players gather in Turin later this month.
Great to Tommy, things that happens sometimes, but no, it's good. No, I think he played aggressive, a lot of great shots. I had my match in that second set with set and break. I played a terrible game there, so yeah, I didn't deserve the victory playing that bad in that key moment. No, so. Until that moment was okay, a good match for me, knowing that is my first match since a while. Then in these surf races especially, you cannot make mistakes with your surf. No, I don't know, of course. I mean, for me it's difficult to imagine now arriving in the World Tour Finals in a shape, in enough good shape to win a tournament like this one that I didn't win during all my tennis career, and to play against the best players of the world since the first day, you need to be there under rhythm conditions. That will not happen. So the only thing that I can do is try to be there earlier, have some good practice with the guys, and then give my best on the court. No?
That Reuters report will take us straight into a break, and we'll be back with the highlights just after. Heading into the highlights from this evening's broadcast, the Twin Hills Gold Project located close to Karibib is on track to create 750 new jobs in the region and has already brought $224.6 million Namibian of foreign direct investment to the Namibian economy. During a workshop in late October, the Central Bank of Nigeria celebrated a year since the launch of Nigeria's central bank digital currency, e-Naira. During the event, Godwin Emefiele, governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, said that they have provided all the necessary infrastructure that should enable them to make a cashless nationwide journey. And African Stars and UNAM FC will make history on Sunday as they become the first teams to feature in the new Dstv Namibia Premiership. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, Oneuptwo.com. Sunset News screens on Dstv channel 285, Gotv 94 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Ashwin Berry. This has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.